Are you thinking about moving to Kailua Kona, Hawaii? Well, Kailua Kona often looks like paradise. And honestly, in many ways it is, with white, green, and black sand beaches, breathtaking sunsets, and that laid-back island vibe that so many of us dream about. But here's what most travel blogs, postcards, and even some real estate listings don't tell you. Paradise definitely comes with its challenges. Aloha, I'm Stephen Proski, realtor with Homes in Hawaii for sale, where we live by one core value, and that's clients first. I've helped countless buyers and sellers across the Big Island, and one of the most important parts of my job is making sure you know exactly what you're getting into before you make the move across the Pacific Ocean. In today's video, I'm breaking down six real downsides of living in Kailua Kona that could affect your budget, your lifestyle, and even your sanity. My goal here isn't to scare you off, it's to help you prepare so you can make the best decision for your family. And be sure to stick around until the very end, because I'll be sharing with you a bonus tip that can save you stress, money, and a whole lot of headaches before you move to Kona. All right, so let's jump into this and talk about the big challenge first. You need to be aware of. The obvious and most important challenge is cost of living. Living in Kailua Kona means living in one of the most expensive markets in the United States. Almost everything is imported, from groceries to building materials, and those shipping costs get passed directly to you, the consumer. As of September 2025, the median home sales price in Kailua Kona is hovering around $1.3 million. And that doesn't buy you a mansion. No, homes with ocean views or prime locations can go even further higher. Even if you're renting, prices are steep because supply is limited and demand is always high. Utilities are another shocker for newcomers on the Big Island. Residents pay around 48 cents per kilowatt hour for electricity, which is 2 to 3 times higher than the national average on the mainland. That means running that AC, keeping the lights on, and even charging your phone costs significantly more than what you are currently spending. And don't forget food and everyday essentials. A gallon of milk can easily run you $7 or more, and a simple grocery trip often ends up in sticker shock, gasoline, car parts, home repairs. It all adds up quickly. If you're considering the move, take the time to build a realistic budget. Include mortgage or rent, utilities, HOA fees, groceries, and a little extra you don't think about, like shipping costs for Amazon orders or anything else for that matter. Insurance premiums. It's better to go in prepared than to be blindsided later. Now, while the high cost of living is tough, it's not the only thing to think about. Like my buddies here, got a bunch of chickens and roosters hanging out this morning. So let's move on to something that affects how often you can see friends and family back on the mainland. Something people don't always think about until they lived here a while, and that is isolation. Kailua Kona is beautiful, but it's also literally thousands of miles away from the mainland. And yes, there's an international airport with about 20 nonstop destinations daily, but options are still limited compared to Honolulu or major mainland cities. That means flights to visit families, to go on vacation, or to handle emergencies can be expensive and sometimes complicated if you're on the East Coast and you're looking at a 10 to 12 hour day with at least one connection or even a layover from the West Coast. Nonstop flights are not often 5 hours or more. And let's not forget the cost prices that can spike during peak travel seasons or holidays. And those last minute trips to visit families isn't just a quick drive or a short flight away. It's a major logistical and financial undertaking. Some residents love the feeling of being far away from the hustle and bustle, while others find the distance challenging. If staying connected to loved ones is important, you need to factor in travel costs and the time into your decision making with family and friends, and your budget to maybe do 2 to 3 trips a year just to the mainland to keep those relationships going. So yes, isolation can be tough, but living here also comes with some cultural considerations that can shape your experience. And let's talk about that next. One of the things that makes Hawaii special is its culture, and respecting that culture is essential. Kailua Kona has a strong sense of community, deeply rooted in Hawaiian traditions and values. And this isn't just a vacation destination. It's home to people whose families have lived here for generations. If you move here, it's important to embrace the local way of life. That means learning about the aloha spirit, being patient, kind, and respectful, and taking part in the community. People who move here and expect the islands to adapt to them rather than the other way around often struggle. Yes, believe me, they do. Simple things like learning proper pronunciation of Hawaiian words. I'm still struggling with that. Volunteering for local events or supporting local businesses go a long way towards building trust and relationships here on the island. Newcomers who take the time to get involved tend to thrive, while those who isolate themselves often feel disconnected and unhappy. If you come humbly and a genuine desire to contribute, you will find Kailua Kona to be incredibly welcoming. But if you resist the culture, you'll feel like an outsider, and life here will be much harder on you. Respecting the culture is key, but even when you fit right in, there's another reality you'll need to face. Hawaii's natural environment isn't always peaceful, and let's talk about natural disasters. On the Big Island, natural disasters aren't just possibilities, they're realities. You have to plan for them. Tsunamis are a serious concern, especially if you live near the coast. Kailua Kona has designated tsunami evacuation zones, and if a warning is issued, you need to know exactly where you need to go and how to get there fast, especially depending on where you're on the island. Then there's volcanic activity. While Kailua Kona isn't directly in a high-risk lava hazard zone, the island as a whole is home to an active volcano, and it's called Kilauea. If you haven't been watching, last 10 months it's been erupting. Eruptions can affect air quality with fog, which is volcanic smog, disrupt travel, and even influence property insurance rates. Earthquakes are also fairly common, and while most are small, they can still be unsettling for newcomers. And let's not forget tropical storms and hurricanes. Yep, we get them. The Central Pacific hurricane season runs from June to November. And while direct hits are rare, storms can still bring high winds, flooding, and supply chain disruptions. Preparedness is key, and that means keeping an emergency kit ready at all times, and knowing your evacuation routes and understanding the risks for your specific neighborhood or community. Once you've planned for nature's curveballs, let's shift gears to something more everyday, the lifestyle and the conveniences you might miss if you're coming from a big city. Kailua Kona has its share of stores and restaurants, but it's nothing like the big cities in the mainland. You'll find local shops, a few shopping centers like Kona Commons or the Kehu Shopping Center. You'll even find a Costco, Walmart, and a Target, along with some great mom and pop restaurants. But if you're someone who loves variety, like multiple movie theaters, big box retailers in every corner, or endless dining options, you might feel limited here. Many residents rely on online shopping for certain items, but that often means higher shipping costs and longer wait times. If you need something urgently, you may not be in luck to get it. Entertainment is also more low-key. Instead of concerts and big events, you'll find community gatherings and farmers markets and local festivals. If you need a big fix to get to major malls, then you need to go to Oahu on a day trip or a weekend. If you're okay with a simpler, slower-paced lifestyle, this won't be an issue. But if you crave the energy in bustling cities, you might feel restless being here. And while lack of variety might feel like an inconvenience, there's one more thing to consider. Something that every tropical homeowner has to deal with here in the Big Island. So let's talk about something a little less glamorous: pests. Yes, Kailua Kona is home to all sorts of tropical critters. Little fire ants are a real concern on the Big Island. Trust me, they can be a nuisance. These tiny insects can deliver a painful sting and are notoriously hard to eliminate once they infest the property. There's also the infamous koki frogs, a small frog with an incredibly loud nighttime call. While some people get used to it, others find it maddening, especially if you're a light sleeper. And then there's the usual suspects: cockroaches, geckos, mosquitoes, you name it. In a warm, humid environment, pests are simply part of life here. Preventative pest control is essential here, and that means sealing food tightly, keeping the home clean, and scheduling the regular treatments. Just another part of maintaining a home here on the Big Island in Kailua Kona. If you're squeamish about bugs, this is something seriously to consider before making the move. Trust me. All right, we've covered a lot of challenges, but before we wrap this up, let me share one tip that can make your transition to Kailua Kona a much smoother one. Do a test run before you commit, before you buy, or even if you decide you want to rent in Kona. Consider spending at least a few weeks living here like a local. Shop at the grocery stores. And I'm not talking Costco, I'm talking KTA, Walmart, Target, Safeway. Drive around, check out the traffic during rush hour, and pay attention to the day-to-day rhythm of life here in Kona. Visit potential neighborhoods at different times of day, especially at night, to hear those great koki frogs that are active all night long and how busy they can get. Doing a trial run will give you a much cleaner picture of what living is like here on the Big Island, and it'll help you avoid the surprises later on down the road. So there we have it, 6 downsides to living in Kailua Kona that you absolutely need to know before you move here. The high cost of living, the natural disasters, limited shopping, and even local critters living here comes with challenges. But if you do go and get prepared, these downsides don't have to be deal breakers. They just become part of the adventure. My mission is to help you every step of the way from choosing the right neighborhood to settling into your dream lifestyle here on the Big Island of Hawaii in Kailua Kona. Let's find a home and Hawaii life that you've dreamed of. If you found this video of any help, please do me a favor. Can you hit the subscribe and like button so other people like yourself can find us and build the channel? If you have any comments, leave them below. If you want to schedule a call and talk story, hit me up at the QR code above. If you have any concerns, I'd be happy to help you answer any of your questions. I read every comment and would love to hear from you. Mahalo for watching, and you have a blessed week. Aloha. And my friends, the chickens and the roosters, want to say mahalo too.